Good. Okay. Yeah, so we're going to start with the parentheses, and inside the parentheses, we have the multiplication. 3/8 times 4/9. And we can cross cancel 3 and 9 to give me 1 and 3. Anything else? 8 and 4 to give me 2 and 1. So now 1 times 1 is 1. 2 times 3 is 6. Now what? Yeah, inside the parentheses here, we have to add our fractions, which means we need common denominators. It's going to be 30 and 30. This would be times 6, so times 6 would be 24. Times 5, so times 5 would be 5. So that makes that 29/30. Now what? The 1/3. Very good. Common denominator is going to be 30, so that's 10/30. I cheated, I know. What? I cheated, I know. It's okay. Now what? 39/30. That can reduce, can't it? Now, it is an improper fraction. It's an improper fraction. But I don't want to reduce it to a mixed number. Can anybody tell me why? Because the very next thing I'm going to do with it is multiply it by 2/3. And when I multiply, I want it as an improper fraction anyway. But I can still reduce it because both 39 and 30 can be divided by 3. So I can bring that down to 13/10. Now I'll get rid of the parentheses because it's down to a single number there. Then what? I'm going to multiply it. 2/3 times 13/10. I'm going to cross cancel the 2 and the 10. Give me 1 and 5. 1 times 13 is 13. 3 times 5 is 15. So now I'm down to 3/4 plus 13/15. Now what? Common denominator, which will be 60. What's this going to be? 45. How about this one? 52, right? Times 4, so times 4. I see what you are. That works. I'd probably. So 97 over 60, so that is 1 and 37/60. How many of you had that? How many of you have no clue where I got that from? Okay. Let's try one more just to make sure you guys are getting these. Oh, come on, we gotta have a little fun. I've got all hour. See, there's the right attitude. Oh, what do I want to put?
You paid salary. Why would you want to make it last longer?
Okay, let's see where this one takes us. Of course, we've got that fraction bar across there, which means we have to do the top first and then the bottom and so on. So let's take a look at the top first. What do we do first up there? Got the parentheses. Inside the parentheses, we've got the multiplication. 2 and the 4 cross cancel, give me 1 and 2. 3's cross cancel, give me 1 and 1. So that multiplies to make 1/2. So we've got 3/8 times 4/15 plus 1/4 times 2/5 plus 1/2. Now what? We're going to work inside the parentheses yet. The 2/5 plus 1/2. Common denominator of 10. This is going to be 4 and 5. Giving us 9/10. In fact, I don't need the parentheses anymore. So there's now 1/4 times 9/10. And then perfect. I can multiply, but I have to go left to right. So I got to do 3/8 times 4/15. 3 and 15 cross cancel make 1 and 5. 8 and 4 make 1 and 2. That's 1/10. Now I can go ahead and multiply this one. That's going to be 1 times 9 is 9. 4 times 10 is 40. And then so 4/40 adds up to 13/40. So the top of this thing, 13/40. Now we move to the bottom. On bottom, what do we do first? Let's multiply. The 7/8 times 2/3. The 8 and the 2 cross cancel give me 1 and 4. 1 times 7 is 7. 4 times 3 is 12. While we're at it, let's multiply the 1/6 times 4/5. 6 and 4 cross cancel to give me 2 and 3. 1 times 2 is 2. 3 times 5 is 15. And then common denominator will be 60. This is going to be 35, and this is going to be 8, 43, 68. So what we have is 13/40. Instead of dividing by 43/60, I'm going to multiply by 60/43. Everybody see what I did? I just flipped it over so I can multiply. These can be divided by 20 to give me 3 and 2. 39 and 86. 39, 86. Everybody get that? 1?
Yeah.
2, 3. Okay. Should we do one more just to make sure you guys got it? Yeah? Okay. Only if I turn the page sideways so I can make it longer. For those of you who cannot catch him in the hallways later, his home address is... Sorry. You'll catch him in the parking lot. No, it's probably a good idea to do another one anyway here. There you go. There's one to try. Let's take a peek at this one. Where do we start? On top, okay? What are we going to do first up there? Multiply the 3/4 times 2/9. Tell me what to do.
1/3 and 1/10.
Okay, reduce this to 1 and 2, and reduce this to 1 and 3. So that multiplies to make 1/6 there. How about over here?
1 and 1.
1 and 1, 1 and 4, multiplies to make 1/4. So now we've just got 1/6 plus 1/4. 5/12. Very good. Any questions so far? Okay. On bottom, what are we going to do first? Parentheses, 2/3 plus 1/6 is 5/6. Now what? Actually, I'll take those parentheses out. I don't need them. Now what? Multiply left to right. Multiply and divide left to right. We're going to cancel out the 5s and the 4s and the 12s. You get 1 and 3. This is 1/3 times 5/6 divided by 3/4. And then that multiplies to make 5/18. And then this becomes 5/18 times 4/3. 4 and 18 make 2 and 9, so this will be 10 27ths. So that's going to be 5/12 times 27 over 10. This cancels to make 1 and 2. This cancels to make 4 and 9. So we got 9 over 8, or 1 and 1/8. What do you think? Ready to tackle like 4 or 5 of those on a quiz? Sure? We just did a lot of work with fractions here. And, one of the things you'll notice is that 1 and 1/8 isn't so bad, but 39/86 is not a fraction you're going to run into in the shop. Your tool sizes tend to go, halves, fourths, eighths, 16ths, 64ths, 1/28ths. I don't think I've ever seen a set of tools that go below 1/28. Once you get below that, then they get into your thousandths instead of going fractions anymore. But when I'm looking at this worksheet I just passed out, we're looking at finding tool sizes. If you have certain tools that aren't quite the right size, how do you find the right size from those? So like number 1 there is talking about it. Let's say you have a tool that's 7/32, and you have one that's 1/4. The 7/32 is a little small, and the 1/4 is a little large. You decide that the tool that you want is actually right between them. Well, let's say that you had an 18mm tool and a 24mm tool, and the tool size you wanted was right between them. How would you find the number that's right between them? Yeah, add them together and divide by 2. Just average them. Get 21. By the way, when you do this, make sure you do 18 plus 24, hit equals on your calculator before you divide by 2. Otherwise, the calculator will divide 24 by 2 and then add them to get 30. Way wrong. So be careful with that. Well, the same thing's going to happen over here. We're going to add those together. Well, this is 7/32. Is going to stay that. 1/4 is going to come how many 30-seconds? 8. So we're going to add those to get 15 30-seconds. Then it'll be 15 30-seconds divided by 2. When we divide by 2, basically we end up, we've got 2 over 1, so we're going to multiply by 1/2. So 15 64ths. Let's do the next one. Do number 2 there. 9 30-seconds and 5/16. Common denominator. 32 again. This is going to be how many 30-seconds? Say 10, right? So that adds up to 19 30-seconds. Yep. And then we have to divide by 2 or just multiply by 1/2. That'll give us 19 64ths. Any questions? Why don't you guys take a couple minutes and do 3 through 10. Okay, so just looking at this one. Number 3 between 5/8 and 3/4 is what? 11/16. Good. Between 3/8 and 1/2, 7/16. Between 1/2 and 3/4, 5/8. Between 1/16 and 1/8, 3/32. Good. Between 11/16 and 3/4, 3/32. 3/32 and 1/16. Careful. 5/64. There we go. 25/32 and 13/16. 51/64. 15/32 and 1/2. What'd you get? $31.64 you get? Any of those you have questions on? Okay. Hold up. Just get the last couple. Okay. Well, in the last set there, what we're looking at, what if you have a tool, let's say we have a 5/32 tool, and you need just a slightly bit bigger or a slight bit smaller. If our tools go in increments of 1/64, well then we would get one slightly bigger. The next tool bigger would be 1/64 of an inch larger. Add a 1/64 of an inch. So of course you're in common denominator. This is 10/64 plus 1/64 is going to be 11/64. If you wanted the next tool smaller, well, it's still 10/64 minus 1/64 would be 9/64. Let's do one more. So we've got 3/16. We're going to go one tool larger would be plus a 64. So we're going to make that into 64 here, which would be 12. Plus 1 is 13/64. Next size smaller, well, 3/16 is still going to be 12/64. Minus 1/64 is going to be 11/64. So try 13 through 19. I say 19 because number 20 is the same as number 14. I'm not going to rate these up, but let's go through them quick. For number 13, 31/32. Next one larger. 63/64, smaller. 61, perfect. 9/32. 19/64, so the next one smaller. 17, good. 5/8. 41 and 39, good. 1/8. 9 and 7. 3/4. 1/16. Perfect. And 3/8. Perfect. Hey, guess what? No homework today. I'll see you guys tomorrow.
Going here in car engine then.
No car engine in the parking lot tonight?
It's just a horrible way. We'll actually wait.